it was tough, but I had to remember why I had to keep on pushing. I had to keep on pushing because I knew that there was going to be a silver lining. I knew that when you keep that determination through not having money, through looking for clients, building your platform, building your network, that eventually you will get there. Um, but it was really, really tough, Devon.
Hey guys, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, where we do exactly that. We tell you real life stories of motivation and inspiration. Because you know what? We want to inspire you to keep on pushing and live your absolute best life. And so I'm excited to welcome Louise Power to the show today. Louise, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories.
Hi, Devon. Thank you so much for having me today. It feels good to be on the other side for once.
Yeah, so yeah, it's great to be able to chat with you. Yeah, the last time we chatted, I was being interviewed by you, so I hope you like having the tables turn. Um, and on that note, Louise, tell us what it is that you do. How do you serve? How do you bring value to the lives of others?
Thank you, Devon. So, my name is Louise Power. I'm a business consultant. I'm a diversity and inclusion consultant. And I sit on the board of trustees where we focus on diversity and inclusion in the boardroom. So, I have a few different hats. And how I most bring value right now is looking at diversity and inclusion as my number one pinnacle business passion. And at the moment, that's what I'm concentrating on. Concentrating on raising awareness around diversity and inclusion via my Power Hour platform, which is a radio show and social enterprise, as well as being a board of trustees at Changing the Chemistry, a national charity here within the UK, where our focus is diversity of thought and increasing diversity in the boardroom where decisions are made. So there's a few things there, I know.
As you're speaking, I'm listening. I'm like, oh, sounds like a true Jamaican. Has several jobs, um, but yeah, which is a joke. I'm not sure if that's a joke over there in,
Yeah.
but here in the U.S., yeah, if you're a Jamaican, you should have many. You're expected to have multiple jobs. But diversity and inclusion. You're the board member. You have your
Hmm.
power. You
Hmm.
also speak, don't you?
Sorry?
You also do keynote speaking as well.
Yes, I also do some keynote speaking, and that's mainly focused around my story and how I got where I am today, the journey that I took, some of those struggles, some of those lessons, and mostly trying to empower and inspire other women and people to let them know that, if I can do it, you can do it too.
Indeed, indeed. So, if someone wanted to be able to take advantage of the wisdom and the advice that you have around diversity and inclusion, perhaps want you to come speak at an event, how would they find you, Louise?
You can find me on LinkedIn. As far as I know, I'm the only Black Louise Power um, on LinkedIn. I'm very easy to find. Um, Also, I'm on the Power Hour is on Instagram, but I think the easiest way to find me is on LinkedIn. You'll see Louise Power, the Power Hour, my other company, I Orbit, and let's connect. Let's get in touch and have a chat.
All right, so that's it, folks. Louise Power on LinkedIn. That's where you're gonna find her. That's thank you so much for that info. Now let's get down to the meat of the matter, Louise. What I am curious about, really curious about, is your keep on pushing story. I'm really curious to hear of a time when you had to overcome a significant hurdle, or perhaps you had to stretch yourself out of your comfort zone. So please do fill us in on one of your keep on pushing stories.
Thank you, Devon. Wow, keep on pushing story. There's been a few, but I think the one I'd like to share most is to shed some light on what it's like to start a business as a single parent and what it's like to start a business without any financial backative. and going into that business bootstrapping completely, not really being prepared, but yet finding out so much about myself and how what things really worked well and what things didn't. So when I first started my business within the tech industry, and I was supporting startup and growth companies with business support, and employing people from the community, women that wanted flexible working solutions. When I first started that business, I bootstrapped that business, and everything happened very, very quickly, from conception to working with companies, and there again, um, starting my journey. And I wasn't really prepared and about how to manage the invoicing system. So when you invoice a client, for example, how long you should wait for that, and lots of things around the financial aspect. And of course, I used all of my savings because I was a single parent, and it was a time where I was really considering, what am I going to do? So I put all of my skills and attributes on a piece of paper, and I decided at that point I was going to start my own business. But within those moments, I had some real silent times where it was lonely. And when I didn't have childcare, I had to bring my son into the office. Not as extreme as the Will Smith story, Pursuit of Happiness, but I did have some of those moments where I was tired, I was tearful. Um, I'd work all day. I'd pick my son up from school. I'd take him into the office, and sometimes my son would be there with me at 10 o'clock in the evening. And for people might be thinking, "Oh gosh, your child should have been wrapped up at home in bed." But I knew that he would appreciate those moments, and it wasn't every day. It was every so often, when he saw that mum was really trying to do something for him and I, and we'd take pictures, and um, we would keep a log of those times, and I'd make it fun for him. And he loved being in this professional environment where people were buzzing around. But, very often there wouldn't be really many people there with children. But because I was from a single parent home, I had no choice. And then I'd go home, I'd put him to bed, and then I'd still be up late working because I was trying to get this business off the ground. I also remember, because I had invested all this money into the business and paying, rent for where I was, so that I could be amongst that network, so that I could be amongst those type of clients, going to the vending machine or going to get lunch. And actually there really wasn't, I didn't have any money I'd paid everything out to everybody else, and I'd paid the staff, and I'd paid, but I didn't have anything for myself. And I think, oh my gosh, I'm waiting for an invoice to come through, and I don't even have enough money to buy myself lunch today. And those really quiet times, I didn't, it's not something you're going to speak to somebody about in the office, that, you're struggling to get by lunch and things like that. But during those periods, I built up a real resilience, because when you start a business, you have to be prepared to make sacrifice. And you find that those resilience in those really silent and difficult moments, you learn some lessons too. um and it was tough, but I had to remember why I had to keep on pushing. I had to keep on pushing because I knew that there was going to be a silver lining. I knew that when you keep that determination, through not having money, through looking for clients, building your platform, building your network, that eventually you will get there. But it was really, really tough, Devon, at times, to think that there wasn't any family. Sometimes people want to start a business and oh, hey, come on, I'll give you. Some family member comes along and says, I'll give you 50,000, man. Don't worry about it. Or someone comes along and says, you're starting a business, I'll take care of all your childcare. It wasn't like that. It was a leap of faith. Sometimes when people say that you need to take a leap, I literally took a leap, and I thought, I could, I didn't just, I knew as well that I was at a time where if I didn't do it then, I don't know when I would do that. Right. And in fact, I would tell you, I even went as far as going back to study. So I went to study business as well. Um, at the same time, I was even starting my business. So, and being a single mom, I don't know how I done it. Honestly, if you was to ask me now, how did I do it? It just faith and perseverance, but it didn't come without some of the things that I would like to explain to you, like um you're not able to put yourself first, so there's so many things that the sacrifice encounters, but I kept on going. I kept on pushing. The what I invested financially, now I can say that every part of it was worth it. I built my network and I built my ability to be where I am today.
That no, that is awesome. I love that, the fact that you, as you said, you took a leap of faith, and although you weren't quite prepared, you got started anyway, which is I think a lesson that's so is lost on so many people, because they think they have to have everything just perfect before they get started on their dream. And thank you for that shining example, Louise, of demonstrating, hey, no, you get started from where you are. What's you built resilience and all of that. What's the biggest lesson, would you say, you took away from that experience, and you can pass on to others?
Well, I quickly learned that um, one of the one of the things that we do is that we don't pay ourselves. But I learned, pay yourself first. You need to pay yourself, because you need to be able to sustain yourself, right? So you
Mhm.
need to be able to look after yourself financially. So I learned that very quickly. I also learned self care. Look after yourself. Make sure that you're getting sleep, to make sure that you're looking after your own mental health, because there's only one you. And as much as you want to do all of these things, you still have to have some time to look after yourself. And I think just sort of self-care, whether it's taking some time out for yourself with some reading or some relaxation. I know we can't go anywhere now because we're in a lockdown situation, but anything, it doesn't have to be expensive, that makes you relax and you get that downtime to yourself. Because when you have those moments of self-care, and you've gone to charge up your own batteries, it makes you even more prepared to be able to take on the world. um and if there was a third thing, I would probably say, um people are always willing to help and support you, but you have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can't take on everything. And now I'm not shy of asking, and people are not shy of asking me. But in the beginning, I didn't want to impose. But you will find that 99.9% of people are very nice, and they're more than happy to pass on their knowledge and give you their time. And I think, don't if you need some support around business or personal development, and there's somebody that you can learn from them, don't be afraid to reach out and say, hey, is there any advice you can give me, or would is there anything that you think that I could do differently? And I think that there's allies, lots of people ready to be allies and support.
Yeah, awesome. Wow, an amazing story, I have to say, and really powerful lessons. For all those would-be entrepreneurs out there, all those dreamers who are not quite prepared to go after their dreams. Hey, be like Louise, take that leap of faith, and as you do that, you will build up resilience. Don't forget that you should pay yourself first if you're an entrepreneur. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, self-care, self-love. We always leave ourselves out for some reason, I don't know. And don't be shy to ask for help, because there are plenty of people out there willing to help. Thank you, Louise. Powerful story, amazing lessons. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you ever so much, Devon. It's been great being here. And yeah, I hope to see you at some point when we all get released for a real coffee.
Yeah, we're waiting. Well, for me, it will be tea, but
Tea. Yeah.
um,
Take care.
yeah, indeed. So, guys, if you enjoy this, if you found it valuable, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit that subscription button and the notification bell, because you'll get a notification every time we post another amazing video just like this one. By the way, don't forget to visit my website, devonharris.com. If you subscribe to the newsletter, guess what? This and other amazing videos will arrive magically in your inbox. All right? Until we connect next time, as always, my friends, keep on pushing.